You don't need a fast travel option in an open world game. While there may be cases where some kind of fast travel is necessary, many modern titles overuse this mechanic. Wasteland 3 shows that you can have both open world and no fast travel. I'm more than aware that its map is pretty small, but in my opinion the main purpose of an open world in video games is the possibility to go wherever the player wants to. In Wasteland, the player is given opportunity to visit many locations, most of them in any order they choose. Lesson: make interesting rather than huge worlds. Don't make huge worlds if they are mostly empty spaces. This one is kinda similar to the previous, but I think it deserves its own spot. Don't make oversized maps if you don't have anything interesting to show to the player. Groups of generic enemies that have outposts everywhere like in Fallout 4 are no interesting if you wonder. Although Snowy Colorado is pretty small, it is very dense in content. Lesson: don't be afraid to make small worlds. Make tutorial fun to play on subsequent playthroughs. Wasteland's tutorial contains many skill checks that the player may or may not be able to perform depending on the character build. So on his next campaign, player might finally find out what cool loot was locked behind that gate. Or find out what will happen if he decides to shoot this raider rather than talk to him. Lesson: make skippable tutorials and tutorial locations that open different paths for different character builds. You don't have to be deadly serious while at the same time bringing up important subjects. Wasteland 3 is brilliant dark comedy. It's full of funny descriptions, fourth wall breaking tutorial notes and absurd situations.
Clarence here has been breathing that stuff for ages, and he's fit as a fiddle! Aren't you, Clarence? 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 Oh, no! Oh, Clarence! He was 2 days away from retirement! The fuck? Is that a...
What's going on? Are we under attack?
No, I'm sure we're not under attack.
Yet, at the same time, it brings up very serious topics. Is artificial life more valuable than a biological one? Is there even such a thing as an artificial life? Does the end really justify the means?
My name is Saul Buchanan. I own Colorado.
Is paying for sex with a goat morally right thing to do? Lesson: don't be afraid of black comedy. Wasteland's 3 main quest structure is amazing. The player gets to know the goal of the game at the very beginning. The story is the local patriarch needs your help. He needs you to bring home his offspring. He tells you the location, shortly describes them, bring them back, and the game is finished. By doing that, the game doesn't waste time for unnecessary wandering and puts you right into the action. Witcher 3 first DLC also did a very similar thing. Lesson: give straightforward long-term goals to the player. Have people from different locations talk about each other and past events. This one is amazing for convincing world building.
We have cataloged your interactions with the Guardian and many of your activities in the outside. You reacted with sharp surprise at Grio, our unofficial greeter. This is the standard human reaction. It does not move our judgment of you along any. You provided critical feedback to Indigo of the sort you would provide to a fellow human. We approve of what you did. You
When NPCs gossip about important events that happen around the world, they appear more natural and less artificial. I enjoyed when certain characters brought up events that happened hours ago. It helped me to remember them better, and also it helped to sell me the fantasy of being post-apocalyptic ranger. Lesson: figure out to bring up past events and build upon them. Long-lasting consequences. Mr. Caption, before his mental breakdown, once said that Fallout is a game about solving problems, making decisions and dealing with the consequences. And Wasteland 3 delivers on that. I'll use an example from early game, so the spoilers are minimum. During Little Vegas Casino quest, player finds out that its owner is responsible for the death of many innocent people. Next, the player have to confront him with this information.
Rangers. I get the feeling this isn't a social call.
But before that, you can hand over the evidence to the local sheriff. If you hand them over, the head of the casino will attack you no matter what you say. Without sharing the evidence, he gives you a choice to join him or to arrest him. Lesson: make players' actions have consequences. Don't give the player options that are either good or bad, or perhaps sarcastic. I look at you, Fallout 4. Wasteland 3 is not black and white, it has many shades of grey. There are very few places where you are choosing between good and evil. When you confront the teenagers who led the raiders into the town, which led to the death of innocents, you have following options: kill them, let them go, lock them in your arrest, hand them over to local sheriff. It should be pretty obvious that handing them to the sheriff is a right thing to do, but the local judge is very corrupted and injustice. Add to that the fact that they didn't know it would go that bad, and they wanted to overthrow the local patriarch who might or might not be a dictator. As you can see, the game, rather than asking if you play a good or bad character, asks you what values does your character believe in. Hence the lesson: good and bad decisions are boring. Don't design them. Make interesting quests. I don't think there is a single fetch quest in this game, nor there is any without some interesting story to it. There is a quest about a cult that worships a Ronald Reagan AI. A quest with underground marketplace run by a faction which members dress up into monster movie costumes.
Known thing is roaming the warrens below us.
And many more. There are almost no bland stories or boring characters in this game. Lesson: if you don't have interesting idea for a quest, don't make it. That would be it. Hope you all enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments if you want more of this stuff. If you didn't know, I am an indie game developer. In the description are links to some of my games, so you can play it if you have free time. Thank you for watching. To the next time.